My 20M friend, 19M, confessed to me that he slept with my girlfriend, 18F. She denies it, and I'd quit to believe. I say friend, but I'd if I'd even consider us friends anymore. We hadn't talked in months after him and my girlfriend all of a sudden just would lash out at one another and refused to speak to each other. I know my friend had feelings for her at one point, and my girlfriend knew this too. But we all had a civil conversation about it, and it seemed like the issue was behind us. My girlfriend and him would text daily, send audio messages, sometimes FaceTime, but it never bothered me. She was very transparent and would show me messages between the two of them. They would also go do stuff together that I had simply no interest in doing, like going to the park or hiking. She would sometimes send him things like "I love you so much," but I always just interpreted it as platonic. He would reply with a heart emoji. Okay, so a couple of days ago he reached out and asked if we could talk in person. We meet up and he tells me about how he's been getting help for his depression, and how he's working on getting back into school, and he looked genuinely happier than I had seen him be in a long time. He had spiraled downward badly in 2020. Eventually he tells me that he needs to get something off his chest and that more than likely I would never speak to him again after he told me. He tells me that one night, after me and my girlfriend had a fight, she asked to come over to his house and get a hug because she was so upset. My friend told her that was fine. He tells me that she gets to his house and they talk and listen to music for a few hours, and at one point she starts rubbing his leg, telling him how great of a friend he is, and how he doesn't deserve any of the bad things that's happened to him recently. Then he says it escalated to them kissing and having sex, in which immediately after she starting crying and stormed out. He then starts crying in front of me saying that he's sorry and that he regrets all of it. I didn't really know what to say, so I just walked away. I confronted my girlfriend and she just starts crying and hyperventilating, saying that he's a lying piece of crap and that she wasn't even attracted to him, and completely defends herself while hyperventilating. The issue is that I could see it happening, but I could also see my friend just making it up to get back at her. I'm sorry dude, it really sounds like your girlfriend cheated on you. My girlfriend and him would text daily, send audio messages, sometimes FaceTime, but it never bothered me. She was very transparent and would show me messages between the two of them. I stopped reading right here. They banged. 100%. Seen this same story 1000x on this sub. Due to her reaction, I guess they actually did sleep together and your girlfriend is lying to you. She cheated. Remove both of these people from your life and focus on people who aren't trash. I agree she cheated. She never even told up why she broke her friendship with this other guy. They just started being nasty with each other. Now it is obvious what happened. He is being truthful. She just starts crying and hyperventilating, saying that he's a lying piece of crap and that she wasn't even attracted to him, and completely defends herself while hyperventilating. This is not the reaction of an innocent person, at least not a mentally healthy one. So she's either in need of mental help or a lying cheater. You decide what to do with that information. Changed a couple terms. What I had was pretty insensitive. I think my 26F boyfriend, 26M, is in love with his best friend, 24F. Edit/update, it was quick, but I am now a single Pringle. Texted his best friend expressing my concern, which she echoed. She called him out on his behavior. Before he replied to her though, he and I talked and he basically said he had feelings for her but felt he couldn't be in a relationship with her because he did something that fucked her over early in their friendship. Don't know what. Didn't ask. Said he thought he could do it when he met me, thought he was over her, and then she broke up with her boyfriend and he realized how happy he was about it. But he didn't want to hurt me. Whatever. About half an hour ago, M sent me a screenshot of his reply to her calling him out, which I asked for, and it was basically him half apologizing and half gushing over her. How he was addicted to having sex with her and it was still the best sex he ever had and how she looks like a porn star, etc, etc, etc. Apologies about him not realizing he had feelings earlier. A bunch of stuff I didn't understand. BC, it all happened before me. That was more than enough. I thanked her and then blocked all of them on all social media. Have a friend here with ice cream. Thank you all for the advice. Original. I almost feel guilty for posting this because most of my anger is directed toward M, his best friend, and she hasn't done anything wrong. But anyway, background, M and my boyfriend, T, met at work 3 years ago. He was her superior and they couldn't stand each other at first, but they're both super nerdy and they're also both musicians, so they ended up becoming really close friends. A few months later, they started hooking up, and then they were actually roommates for over a year. And when I say roommates, I mean they slept in the same bed every night. He says it wasn't ever a relationship, but label or not, that's definitely something both their future partners would consider to be relationship-like at the very least. Anyway, she moved for a better job and I met him about 3 months after that. He hasn't ever hidden either of us from each other. And in fact, even when I've met her or talked to her because she visits every few months, she's nothing but sweet to me. I see no jealousy or anything. He'll even invite her to sleep on our couch, and she always just thanks him and goes to her parents, saying she doesn't want to be an imposition on our alone time. So it's not like she's encouraging anything. But he does stuff for her that I can't ever see him doing for me. For Christmas, he got me a sweater, a bow today I fucked up sweater that I'd told him I wanted and was super thankful for until I saw what he got for her: AirPods, a rare plant that he knows she's been wanting, and an old vinyl her late grandmother used to have. When she broke up with her boyfriend, he immediately called out of work and drove 200 miles to be with her. When she first moved, he bought her an Xbox as a going away present. They just have this rapport and connection that I feel extremely left out of. She's who he goes to when he's upset. She knows way more about his life than I do, even though I try to be there for him. She doesn't even ask, she actually makes it a point not to ask, and he tells her about whatever he's struggling with. She has told me she's happy that I'm with him. Apparently he used to talk all the time about how he didn't want to be in a relationship and he never wanted to be married, and she said I proved him wrong. Which felt good, but can feel his sadness when she leaves or hangs up. I feel like I constantly see him texting her or scrolling through her Instagram or checking to see if she's on her PS5 so they can play their game together. They have a specific game they will only play with each other. He claims he's never wanted a relationship with her, but he's really good at being oblivious to his own feelings. I'm asking him too much now and he's starting to get annoyed. He shows me their texts all the time to prove nothing is going on, but I feel icky. Am I crazy? Are they just good friends and I'm reading too much into it? Your boyfriend is using you as a backup because for whatever reason he can't have her. You owe yourself to move on from him. You deserve to be number one and you are not number one for your boyfriend. Man, I just read the update. I'm sorry I can't imagine how much this hurts. You deserve to be with someone who sees you as number one. You are more than worthy of that. I hope you heal well. You're right, she hasn't done anything wrong, but your boyfriend sure has. I'd be furious seeing the discrepancy between how he treats you and her. Christmas gifts alone would have been heartbreaking. He's having a one-sided emotional affair and you deserve better. Have you talked to him about these concerns? And don't accept it as him being oblivious to his feelings. That's a cop-out so he can continue treating her like a GF without acknowledging how shitty that is. It's clear that she's the one who didn't want a serious relationship with him, not the other way around. Just because he isn't hiding her from you and showing you their texts doesn't mean he isn't still treating her like a GF, he's just doing it in front of your face. You absolutely do not have to accept this. You are not overreacting. You deserve someone who wants to be with only you. How long have you been with him? This is a big factor in how important you should be relative to somebody who's been in his life for a long time. A year in February. I feel like it's been long enough for me to not feel like I'm taking a backseat, but this is also my first relationship so I don't have a good grasp on how things work all the time. Edit. I personally, 22F, would not be able to be in a relationship with someone like this. I couldn't see my boyfriend treating another girl, frankly, with more admiration than he treats me. He will always compare you to her, especially because they've hooked up before. ETA, proud of you. Yeah, that's what gets me. And they were sleeping together for like a year and a half. He says if I wanted a relationship I would have tried already, but I don't think that's true. I think if he does have feelings, he didn't comprehend them or develop them until after she was already gone. How do I, 18M, thank my aunt and uncle for taking me in once my parents kicked me out? So on my 18th birthday my parents kicked me out. If I'm being honest, I kinda knew it was going to happen. I guess I just didn't really believe they would do it. For a few weeks I was just hoping between friends' houses. But then I found my aunt and uncle when I made a new Facebook account. And I messaged them and kinda told them what happened and just asked if I could stay with them for a while. Basically when I came out, since my aunt and uncle was actually supportive of me, my parents just cut them out of my life. But I've always loved my aunt and uncle. They are just amazing people in general. But I've been living with them for 10 months now. But they've always been there for me, and they taught me a lot of things that parents would typically teach their kids. My aunt taught me how to cook, clean, and all of that. My uncle taught me things like basic mechanics, electric, plumbing, and all of that manly stuff. And they've both kinda taught me how to parent. I have 3 cousins. Me and my oldest cousin, 15F, get along really well and we talk a lot and do stuff together. And she was like extremely excited when I moved in. I think it's either BC she now had an older sibling in a way, or BC she has someone to do more girly stuff with. I don't wear makeup or anything, but she likes to, so I'll do it with her sometimes. My other cousin is 8M and we play video games sometimes and that's about it. But then there is the baby. And I always thought I hated babies until I met him. Now I love babies. And I can't wait to have kids of my own, whether biological or adoptive. And I take care of all of them, and I treat them how I used to treat my brother, until he decided to hate me for being bi too. And my aunt mainly has helped me with a lot of personal issues. She's finally convinced me to try therapy to help me through my issues, and I start that sometime in February. But I just love them all so much, and I'm so grateful for all of them. But especially my aunt and uncle for taking me in and treating me just like their kids. So I want to thank them, but I don't know how honestly. And they are both kinda loud and extravagant people, which makes me want to do something loud and extravagant. But I also kinda want to just do something small and humble. I'd what to do. So yeah, that's why I'm here. If I was your aunt and uncle and you put even half of what you said here about your gratitude for them into a letter or card, it would 1000% be something that I would treasure for the rest of my life! Exclamation mark. You could write then an appreciation letter. Cook them dinner or take them out for dinner. Can you offer to look after house/children from Friday night to Monday, just so the adults can have a full weekend of spouse time? Definitely. It's really not too difficult. The only part that would be a pain in the ass is the baby at night. I could definitely do that. You are a good person. Your new, found, family are good people. Throw them a surprise party, go all out, cook a meal, prepare some balloons, etc, etc, etc. I bet they would love it, and it would be an amazing time for the whole gang. Hugs. I'm sorry your parents sick, but I'm so happy you found a home and family with your aunt, uncle and cousins. There are lots of things, from doing extra things around the house, cooking a special meal, making things arts/crafts, etc. Sometimes just telling them how much you appreciate everything they've done can be enough. I have thought about arts and crafts. It's also something me and my oldest cousin could do. BC she loves doing arts and crafts, and maybe it would be special to her too. Being like, hey, I'm making something for aunt and uncle, but you can't tell them yet, wanna help me? Maybe something like that. But I haven't put too much thought into that one.